Have you ever sent a message and waited for a reply that never came? Have you ever walked into a room only to feel completely invisible? Or watched someone slowly become distant without understanding why? If so, you're not alone. Being ignored is one of the most painful social experiences a person can face. And surprisingly, the pain isn't just emotional. Research has shown that social rejection and exclusion activate many of the same regions of the brain associated with physical pain. In other words, being ignored doesn't just hurt your feelings. Your brain experiences it as a real threat. Welcome back to Insight Vault, the place where we uncover the hidden psychology behind human behavior, relationships, and the choices that shape our lives. If you enjoy psychology, self-improvement, and understanding why people do what they do, make sure to subscribe to Insight Vault, because every story holds a lesson, and every lesson begins with a single insight. Now let's open the vault. Imagine this. You send a text message. You see that it has been delivered. Hours pass. Nothing. A day passes. Still nothing. Suddenly your mind begins creating stories. Did I say something wrong? Are they upset with me? Did I do something to offend them? Why aren't they responding? This reaction is completely normal. Human beings are wired for connection. For thousands of years, belonging to a group increased our chances of survival. Being rejected by the group could be dangerous. Because of this, our brains evolved to pay very close attention to social acceptance. When someone ignores us, our brain often interprets it as a threat. One of the biggest reasons being ignored hurts so much is uncertainty. If someone openly tells you they're upset, at least you have an explanation. But silence creates questions, and unanswered questions often become anxiety. The human mind dislikes uncertainty. It wants answers. It wants closure. It wants understanding. When those answers never arrive, we often create our own. And unfortunately, those explanations are usually worse than reality. Another reason being ignored affects us so deeply is because it challenges our sense of self-worth. Many people unconsciously tie their value to how others respond to them. When someone pays attention, we feel appreciated. When someone responds, we feel acknowledged. When someone ignores us, we may begin questioning our value. But here's an important truth. Someone else's attention does not determine your worth. Read that again. Someone else's attention does not determine your worth. Many people spend years chasing validation from others, only to discover that validation was never the answer. True confidence comes from within, not from someone else's response. Now here's something many people don't realize. Not everyone ignores you for the same reason. Sometimes people are overwhelmed. Sometimes they're distracted. Sometimes they're dealing with personal struggles. Sometimes they're focused on challenges you know nothing about. And yes, sometimes people intentionally create distance. The difficult part is that we often assume the worst before knowing the truth. We convince ourselves we're being rejected, when in reality, we simply don't have enough information. At Insight Vault, we believe one of the most important psychological skills you can develop is emotional awareness. Instead of immediately reacting, pause, observe your thoughts. Ask yourself, do I know what's actually happening? Or am I creating a story based on fear? This simple question can change everything. Because our assumptions often create more suffering than reality itself. Perhaps the most painful form of being ignored is when it comes from someone you care deeply about. A close friend, a family member, a romantic partner, someone whose opinion matters to you. That's because emotional investment amplifies emotional pain. The more we care, the more vulnerable we become. And vulnerability always carries risk. But here's the lesson many people eventually learn. You cannot force someone to value your presence. You cannot force someone to communicate. And you cannot force someone to choose you. What you can do is choose yourself. Choose your peace. Choose your growth. Choose your self-respect. Because the moment you stop chasing validation, you begin reclaiming your power. The psychology of being ignored teaches us something important about human nature. We all want to feel seen. We all want to feel heard. We all want to feel valued. But the healthiest relationships are built on mutual effort, mutual respect, and mutual communication. When those things disappear, it may be a sign that your energy is better invested elsewhere. So the next time someone ignores you, take a deep breath. Resist the urge to immediately blame yourself. Remember that silence doesn't always tell the whole story. And remember that your value remains the same, whether someone recognizes it or not. What do you think? Have you ever experienced being ignored? How did it make you feel? Share your experience in the comments below. Here at Insight Vault, we read every comment, and your story might help someone else feel understood. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Your support helps Insight Vault continue exploring the fascinating psychology behind human behavior. Thank you for watching. Because every story holds a lesson, and every lesson begins with a single insight. We'll see you in the next video.